Good morning. It's a great Monday to be a Lions fan here at Lions Talk with Smokin Jeremy B. It's another great day, people. Another great beginning to the week. 3 days away from draft time. So excited to be going. StreamYard's changing the way it streams. It doesn't allow it to go into groups, only pages. So I also have created on Facebook a kneecap fighting with the Motor City Lions podcast page. So go over there, check it out. Still going live into the Villain Squad because that is a page, not a group. We got Brett Peterson in the chat. Good morning. It's a great day to be a Lion. One pride. Yes, it is, sir. The excitement building. It's draft week. Let's fucking go. That's right. And tonight's the last mock draft Monday 7.0. Might do things a little different just to have fun with it. One of our normal mocks where Dan takes the Giants and I take the Lions and we accept the trades and all that good stuff. But I'm thinking about doing a full first 2 rounds every pick. What say you? Then tomorrow night it's Inside the Pigskin with my publisher, former Lions special teams coach and head coach of CMU, John Bonamago, Mel Farr superstar's son, Mel Farr Jr. And Wednesday night, I'm back for the trap. I still can't believe I'm saying those words. Let's get this show on the road.
Charles here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out Kneecap Body by Jeremy Smokkin.
Good morning. How's everybody doing? I still think when we see 2 of the 3, Turner, Latu, and Verse get drafted, we'll see Holmes move up for the one that's left. Sort of like he did with JMO. I don't see that this year because he literally has said this draft class, especially at cornerback, is mid. I don't think he's drafting edge. He said he likes the D-line as is. He's never lied to us before. So, I don't see a trade up happening. If anything, he alluded he's trading back in that last interview, and he doesn't throw smoke screens like all the other GMs out there. I mean, it literally sounds like he's setting us up to be trading back. Got 13 people watching. Throw some likes up there, people. But at the same time, It is what it is. Whatever he does, I'm good with because so far it's worked to an extent, with the exception of Levi Onwuzurike, who cannot stay on the field. And when he does, he hasn't been as impactful as we all thought he would be as a second round pick. The same technically could be said for Josh Pascal. Cristobal Flores loved the backdrop. Yeah, just something to help deaden the sound, keep things from going. I've seen way more people saying we move up than back. So I disagree with that statement. Big Dan Davis, he goes, yeah, I'm about 90% certain we are traded back. If not, Brad sticks and picks, in my opinion. That's where I'm at. He's either staying where he's at or he's trading back. Good morning, Paul Jones. Good to see you here, Paul Jones. There isn't a lot of news. I mean, all there is the new uniforms. It's all the usual stuff. But that presser on Friday, I've watched it. I've read the quotes. It sounds like he's ready to trade back. He said all the top cornerbacks aren't much better than the ones later in the draft. Cristobal Flores, I'm a Michigan comic, usually at spring camp every year, and know a lot about the team draft week. Can't wait. Yes, Cristobal, and since this is the first time I've seen you in here, I have been blessed with NFL press credentials for the draft this year for the first time as a writer for the Motor City Tribune. I understand. He We're not going O line. He basically said that. We're not going O line with the first pick. And he said he likes our D line room as is. Like I said, just 3 days, John Kapler. I doubt CJ Moore comes back. Just met Gibbs yesterday. That's awesome. If Brad gets an offer he feels he can't turn down and deems it right for the team, he's going to trade back. I've got Washington, maybe Arizona as the teams Brad possibly deals with. Ricky Sakata in the chat. Good afternoon, JB. Betts is going to surprise a few people this season. I said the same thing. Cristobal, I do normally every Friday a Lions guest show called the Lions Fan Cave Chat. But this week, since I'm at the draft, I won't be doing that show. But you're more than welcome to be a guest next Friday, 100%. But yeah, I agree. Betts is going to surprise a few people this season. I will send it later on, Cristobal. No problem. I don't know why Xavier Worthy is growing on you. I don't think we're going to wide receiver either. I think we're trading back. I don't know why you say that, John, because almost every catch he makes is over his shoulder because it's floating and he has to track the ball down. Paul Jones, I made a bold prediction saying I believe Betts wins the starting edge job opposite Hutch with Davenport and Houston as the situational edge rushers. Yeah, I said the same thing. Chris Paul Flores, I'll see you at the draft. I'll be wearing my Sanders jersey and Lions chain. Fantastic. Love his highlights. Yeah, but there's a lot to it. There's a lot more to it than just his highlights. Things that have came out. It is what it is. I think somebody's going to reach for him in the first round. I think he's a second rounder at best. Made a mock trade, picked BB, Nealon, and Renardo. Not bad. How you doing, Joseph Austin? But the news is slow. There's not a lot out right now. Most draft trades are not going to be announced till the day of the draft. We all know that. Hello, JB and FTP. 100% Dave Eastman. Good to see you. I, I love talking with you guys. But John, you just said the main thing. I disagree. DPJ actually had his best season and in third year looked like he was finally developed. They drafted another player and went away from him with the Cleveland Browns. Go look at his stats from year 3. Good morning to all. He'll finally have an off season to actually work out. Getting warm under the lights here. And you forget we didn't have Raymond in that game, and he comes back too. Lions go. Detroit Lions, one pride. Kings of the North Division championship title. 100%. How you been, Dwayne King? Good to see you this morning as well. Exactly. Funky Goff's wounded ducks lose trajectory in the air because they are ducks, not tight spirals. And he just doesn't have the arm strength to hit that pass with zip or a spiral. I mean, he got the hands the size of a T Rex. One year prove it, Dell. He better. His hometown is his last stop. Right. The Lions were Khalif away from the Super Bowl because I don't think Khalif drops those passes Reynolds did. Say what you want. It wasn't Goff's fault we lost. It wasn't Goff's fault we won. He threw one touchdown pass the entire game that was caught. We went away from the run is why we lost. That play calling in the third. I do. And I absolutely agree with this one. Hopefully DPJ will have more reps this year. Yeah, I know. That's why I said what I said. You don't smile and laugh your way to the sideline after a drop like that in a big game. I'm sorry if you're a true competitor. And that's not the first big clutch game that Josh Reynolds dropped. Plays that would have won games with Goff as his QB. Everybody forgets he dropped that big touchdown pass in 2018 in the back end of the end zone in the Super Bowl. Yeah, you never know. Jesus might come back today too. And Goff's deep ball, he throws a floater that has guys to run to it, but his arm isn't as strong as it was. It's getting better on the short to intermediate passes, but his deep ball is less than desirable. We all know about his athleticism. As long as he doesn't have the ball in his hand, he can run. I think he focuses too much on the football, is why he looks so slow. It's why I'm so intrigued by Hooker in preseason. I know we all are. Anybody that understands football and actually watched what he did at Tennessee, Goff fans are scared of it. There was 2 fourth down drops, and the second one was just as bad as the third down drop. Hooker's deep ball is his best throw. Yep, yep. DPJ posted on X last night. He started his training camp early, getting ready like never before. People used to come here for a check. I know. Congratulations, Fred. That sounds like a lot of fun. All I know is that this little excursion I'm having this week gets me one step closer to that press booth at Ford Field. Every move is to improve. Brent, you're right. It might not be today, but it's soon. In a few days, we'll have some new members of the team. The draft has been crazy to try to figure out. Makes sense. Hookers are good at handling deep balls. Ba-dum-bum. That was actually pretty good. I like it. Whereas Goff's deep ball, it sounds like the end of Mario. No, don't go there. Samersill at 35 after we trade down? I don't know. He doesn't like a lot of the cornerbacks at the top of the draft. Brad actually said the cornerbacks at the top of this draft are no better than the ones at the end of the draft. Only thing I'd be shocked about is Holmes drafting a QB in the first. I'm prepared for anything. I actually say there's probably three position groups we don't touch. That's QB, running back, and O line. Yes, Brad said that. He said if you go look at the statistics, at the guys at the back half of the draft and their athleticism and their RAS scores, they're not much different than the top 5 guys. There is no generational talent at cornerback this draft. Exact words. And he said he likes our cornerback room. And he sat there and he alluded to the fact that he might trade back for the right package. I think that's where he's going. Only one of the three positions that would surprise me in the first are long snapper, punter, and kicker. I don't think he's doing that with Decker. Uh, there's a big difference there. Decker played through a lot of shit and did well. The team is already better than last year before we even draft. Absolutely, Paul Jones. I've said this 100 times already. We got better by who we lost off the team. He sounds like he's going to move back. Yeah, he said there's no first round talent on the O line that would start over the five guys we have. It would be very hard for them. So he's not going O line. We already know they got Hooker working out with Bridgewater down in Florida. Goff is the guy to start this year, no matter what, whether there's an extension or not, because they don't know what they have in Hooker, and they're not just going to throw him out there. And then he talked about the CB class. He said the top half of the CB class is just mid. In other words, he's not putting first round guys on the CB guys that are there. If any of them fall to the second round, he might grab one. And there was four teams that have ties to people on the Lions front office. Number one is Arizona. His national scout was the assistant GM. That's what you wish. I don't think he's getting traded. That makes no sense. It's not the last year of his contract. It would cost you more money than he makes. Maybe he trades Goff. It's not out of the question. I know, but Goff slappies don't want to hear that. Nobody wants to hear what Lions insider Jeff Risdon said on his podcast 8 weeks ago now. Is Undone came in and just said, I just watched Risdon's podcast. He said after talking to Goff and talking with the office, they're probably not doing an extension, and Goff is okay with that because he's going to bet on himself to make more money next season. That was 8 weeks ago. But I don't think a trade is going to happen unless Goff is struggling, and then we're not going to get much value for him. That's not really an opinion. That's pretty much fact. Because if Goff is having a bad year, we're having a bad year. And if we're having a bad year, there's no sense in keeping a $32 million quarterback. But I don't see Goff having a bad year. We still got a top O line in this league, probably the best O line in this league since Jason Kelsey retired. He goes, I will die laughing if Goff gets traded. Trade him to Denver. Swap first round pick. Swap Goff for Surtain. I would go absolutely die laughing. But we're not getting rid of him. That's what I'm saying. I don't see any way we get rid of him before the draft. Best NFL pass player's son you want as a Lion, not MHJ, Rice, Ellis, or Blades. I'm not saying it would happen, but the trade kind of makes sense if they wanted to move on from golf. I don't think they are ready to. And I know they're not ready to. That's what I was saying. All right. Best NFL players, son, you want as a Lion. Rice, Ellis, or Blades? I would say either Rice or Ellis myself. We have the best O line in the NFL. Getting rid of Jackson made us better. He wasn't available for half the season. Absolutely. I like Rice. I like Rice too, but we don't have a fourth round pick right now. I know Kelsey drops Philly. I say we're number one. I've said that too. But I heard they were grooming the backup guard last year to take over for Kelsey already in practices. So they might be okay. They're probably not going O line. I think they probably go wide receiver in the first, but I think it's a mistake. They should probably go O line, even if it's just to sit them behind somebody. I wonder if that affects the tush push. They said it won't because that's what they had the guard practicing at practices. I don't know what it's going to do. I don't know what to expect. I expect their running game will be better. And I've seen a lot of that clickbait stuff too. I don't see where we get rid of JMO either. This is only year three. It's a first round pick. Year three costs you $10 million in dead cap to get rid of JMO. It makes no sense. No NFL team really replicated. It leads me to there. It's been replicated. It just hasn't been successful. I've seen a lot of teams do it, and it's worked, but not the same way. I think it will. Kelsey was a once in several years center. Their O line won't be nearly as good the last few seasons, and that's fair to assume. I'm trying not to assume anything. Yeah, JB clickbait. Um, Detroit Line used to be very, very accurate in the stuff that they posted, and then they got into the clickbait stuff. And I know it's to get the clicks. I know it. They started going into every rumor and just diving in like it was facts and factual. And now they're less than 80% accurate because of it. They used to be 100% accurate because all they posted was actual news. Um, there's a reason I don't do that. I don't want to be that guy. I don't write about them. I don't address them other than to basically dispel them. There's very few writers. Can't help but love Kelsey. He's an American treasure. It pisses me off. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about, Brent. When the Detroit Line first started reporting like 4 or 5 years ago, everything they reported was dead money. In the last 3 years, there's been a lot of clickbait. Oh, there's our lovely puppy. I love Penny to death. She's so awesome. But when she hears the neighbor's dog bark, she gets more excited than a girl on a prom date. Kind of like me talking about the draft. The new America's team better get used to articles about us, boys. Oh, it's not new though, Orlando. That's what everybody forgets. 1992 in January, when we whooped the crap out of America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. John Madden coined it. And there were shirts put out in 93, 92 season for it. Detroit's the new America's team. They showed Dallas how to get it done in the playoffs. That was because of Barry Sanders and all those wonderful weapons we had around him at the time. We beat them 31-6 in a wild card game. They would never talk about us at ESPN. Now all over us. Hard Knocks blew up our popularity. It actually started before Hard Knocks. It started with how the team played at the end of the season. Fonts was the weak link. Yeah, when he went away from the run and shoot offense. The run and shoot offense was working great. Brent, my guess is we move back because Brad can get Darius, and Brad gets more picks. LOL, but don't ask me how. It helped that we knocked out Troy at the beginning of that game. Yeah, it did. Perriman, Moore, and Morton was a killer wide receiver room. Biting kneecaps was made fun of, not anymore. It was only made fun of at that first press conference that whole off season. I embraced it. That's why I created the show. Year 3 I'm in now. Can you believe I've been doing this for 3 years? It's the 4th year of this team, but I started it in the 2022 off season. Yeah, I did my first. Oh, man, it's just been one hell of a ride. I love doing this stuff. And I don't do it because I'm trying to get paid. I mean, getting paid would be nice, but sorry, handling business. We're at the getting back up and biting the other kneecap part of the speech. Dad, the Chicago Bear fans are very excited. Cocktail, you worried about Caleb Williams? They have 9. No, I'm not worried about Caleb Williams. He's a rookie going to the Chicago Bears. They have ruined so many quarterbacks. I hated it when people, ESPN, cut on Dan Campbell. They are idiots with no vision. But that whole first part of the offseason and through the part where we were 0-9, and with the 35th pick, the NFL drafted the Detroit Lions select Roman Wilson, wide receiver, Michigan. I think it'd be Darius Robinson if we traded back to 35. He gave me a meathead vibe too at first. He's so much deeper than that. He, I went back and as soon as we hired him, before he even the speeches were done, because the speech was the next day. Remember, he was hired, then the next day he had his presser. I was already researching what he did with Miami as the interim head coach before he ever got to be the assistant offensive coordinator and assistant head coach of the New Orleans Saints. Sean Payton isn't a stupid man, and he saw something in Dan to give him that. He wasn't just a tight ends coach there. That's what everybody skipped and fell asleep on. They thought he was just a tight ends coach. Yeah, rallied that Miami team and almost got himself a head coach gig then. Dan was putting his neck on the chopping block to say what he said. MCDC just wants you to think he's a meathead. I think he's pretty smart. You're absolutely right, Patty Grimes. Welcome back to Michigan again. You said you're back from Arizona, right? I can't wait. The- Let's see. The pre-draft stuff starts at like 6 or 7. The draft starts at 8. It's a 3-hour event minimum. Good morning, Lions family. Thursday can't get here fast enough. Yep, I agree. And I don't know why, but I still say I'm going to be writing about a trade back. You're not sleeping Wednesday like a kid before Christmas. I will with Benadryl and NyQuil. I'll make myself sleep. Trust me. But I will be staying in Farmington Hills at a lovely hotel, so I don't have to drive so far every night. I'll be riding in with Scott and Candy as we go to set up. I think a lot of Lions fans will boo because they want them to trade up. I've seen so many things from Lions fans about trading up for this person and trading up for that person. And he dispels the rumors that we're trading up all the time for the last 2 weeks. So yeah, I think they will boo because it'll be announced by Roger Goodell, so it'll get booed. What what position would shock you if drafted by Holmes at 29? Michael Penix or Bo Nix. That's it. Only thing that'll shock me. There isn't a first round running back this draft. No matter what Michigan fans, and I'm a Michigan fan, thinks there is no first round running backs. And according to him, there's no first round O lineman or cornerback worth the pick either. All scenarios are possible. Home has no tells. He does if you listen to him. You guys say he has no tells, but he tells you what he's going to do every year, and then he does it. Oh man, the branch pick wasn't planned. No, it wasn't. It was just he was still on the board, and they even said, "I think Green Bay wants him, so Green Bay's the guy we got to trade with." I'm just waiting for Brad the Magician to do his magic. Do you remember watching that Inside the Den episode where they were talking about the second round and Branch is still there? He goes, "Hey, I think we got to either trade with the Packers or get ahead of the Packers to get him." I would be surprised if wide receiver at 20. I won't be. That's one. It's a need, but it's not necessary. I don't get it, but it's still a need to get one. I like the guys a little bit later in the drafts better than some of the top guys. And Xavier Worthy, while his highlight films is great, he's not a dog in practice. He doesn't. He tries to get by on his talent alone. And yes, he's very talented, very fast. But I think picking him in the first round would be the equate of the Raiders taking Worthy or taking Ruggs that year, where it took 3 years for him to look okay and then he screwed up. I talk crap about a lot of prospects, but if home draft them, I'll definitely change my tune in instantly. Depth at safety and wide receiver does make sense, but you say depth. I don't see taking any of those positions in the first round where it makes sense because first rounds are supposed to be day one starters. Man, we've been talking 40 minutes just over conjecture. Me too, Orlando. Just over the conjecture of the draft. How amazing is it that we can talk 40 minutes? Just me by myself, hanging out with you guys, talking football. It's amazing. It is that time of the show where we talk about our favorite sponsor. Who is it, guys? It's FTP. No, it's not the florist. It's not Found the Plunger. It's not Free the Puppies, even though that's nice to see. Put it in the chat. What is it, guys? That's right. It's Fuck the Packers. All right. I'm going to address that one right now, there, Orlando. One guy I'd hate to be a Lion is Ennis Rakestraw. All the four sport network, the three-letter sport network, all of that stuff. They say he's worth anywhere from the 6th to the 10th best cornerback. The very first publication I read, Ennis Rakestraw might be the most overrated cornerback this draft. Horrible numbers against, tends to leap and try to jump routes and work purely off of his athletic ability. He has a nice RAS. That's it. He has the worst QBR against versus sixth round projected corners. A 96.8 QBR against, 7 touchdowns given up, uh, 4 passes defended, and 1 pick. A 96. That's awful. Cam Sutton wasn't even that bad. What Lions player would you like to meet at the draft? I'd like to meet Amon-Ra St. Brown. No bullshit. If he's there, I want to talk to him. Or Hutchinson. Either one. Remember, it was 2 years later when St. Brown got to announce a pick. It's 2 years later since we drafted Hutchinson. I think he's going to be the one announcing the pick. He's been at the front of everything lately. But the best thing I heard prior to the stuff being revealed was the stuff that Sheila said about our goal is the Super Bowl, to hoist the Lombardi. That's a huge and bold statement we've never heard out of a Detroit Lions owner's mouth. Do you think there's a player getting a lot of compliments? They have a PFF great score. However, they didn't play any good teams. Everybody says that about the guys that play corner coming out of the MAC. But guess what? They do well in the NFL. Sauce Gardner. Now it's Quenyon Mitchell. Talk about my other sponsor. Gloss Negron, the best window tinner in Saginaw, is voted by his peers and customers. 989-443-9240 to set your appointment to get your windows tinted or your auto detailed, because he does auto detailing too. Located at 409 Hamilton Street. Give him a call. Check him out. Tell him Smokin' Jeremy B sent you. He'll get you a discount. Oh, good morning, Jeremy. This is the week. Yes, Yes, it is, Tina. Good morning, Tina. Good to see you. Glad you made it in before I went out. A UDFA rookie you're looking at? Well, it's Al Blades Jr. Um, Technically, according to what they're ranked as, it's Quantez Stiggers and Frank Crum. I have that stupid jingle stuck in my head. And Fred Peterson says, I love Sheila. She has taken over. I no longer blame ownership for the team's problems. Absolutely. You can't. And then, of course, there's my place of employment. Brandon's Tire, located at South Grand Traverse and West Atherton Road, 810-233-8230. Give George or Red a call to get your quote for your new tires. Come see us if you need used tires. You mention this ad and get a set of tires, we'll knock $10 off. Which stupid jingle, though, Paul Jones? I want to know. Yeah, Frank Gore Jr. is another one. But Al Blades is considered like 277th on some big boards, and Quantez Stiggers is 309. I don't know how many teams are actually paying attention GM wise. Mateus Longoria, what up? Oh, we're getting ready to wrap up, my friend. We've been on for the last 47 minutes talking football, talking Lions, talking other teams, talking draft. Oh, which I'm so excited to be a part of and to go be a part of the press media row. It's going to be an amazing time. I love it when they get drafted to their dad's ex team. Yeah, I do too. Um, but I made a comment last night, and I think it makes sense. I was a part of another, just all first round, three guys picking every pick randomly. I had to pick for the Rams. I took Byron Murphy. I sat there. I said they just lost their Hall of Fame defensive end slash tackle to retirement. It makes perfect sense to throw him in here. He's a good fit. He's a guy that can play inside and out. And I think that's where he goes, is to the Rams. And I went ahead and did a little bit of a reach for the 49ers at 31. I gave him Braden Fiskey after losing Eric Armstead and all those guys, because he's a guy that can play inside and out too at this size. And I think it makes sense. And everybody says, oh, they're going to go O-line. I was like, Tom Brady come back? Raiders are rumored. Raiders are rumored because he's part owner. Real quick, what's your thoughts on the corner from Iowa? You're talking about Cooper DeJean, the cornerback slash safety. I think he's one of the most versatile prospects in this draft. I Cornerback, safety, kick returner, punt returner. He's not slow at a 4.42 40. He's got a good vertical. He has insane numbers against him. Not just highlights. I'm talking about his overall statistics. Quarterbacks against him. If he was there at 29, I'd take him at 29. I don't think he lasts that long. And I don't think we're trading up, so we're probably not getting him. Paul Jones says Jerry Ball was so underrated. Yes, he was. If we take Ennis Rakestraw in the first two rounds, I'm going to equate that to taking Terry Fair over Randy Moss. That's how horrible I think he is. Terry Fair wasn't bad, but compared to who went right after him to the Minnesota Vikings, it's that type of pick to me. And DeJean is a great tackler. He's also a team captain. I mean, he checks all the boxes. If he's there at 29, I see Kneeling going mid second round or our pick at 61. But if we take Darius Robinson, he's no longer in need because I don't think Darius Robinson is the pick either. There's been so much stuff said about the early defensive and offensive talent in this draft by Brad Holmes. I don't know what he's going to do other than the fact he's more than likely going to try to trade back for the right package. And like I was trying to say earlier, the front office has ties to 4 teams. We have a scout that was a former assistant GM of Arizona. We have another scout that was a former national scout for the Commanders. Brad has his link to the Rams, and Dorsey has a link to the Chiefs because he was the former GM there. So that's 4 draft partners we could trade back with. And in all actuality, I could see the Chiefs doing it if there's a run on wide receivers and they want to get either a Donnie Mitchell or a Xavier Worthy. Yeah, I'm excited for Nealon too, and I think he's going to be a great, great guy. It is nice when the local guys get a chance. I wanted Sauce Gardner 2 years ago, but not over Hutchinson. I wanted Devin Weatherspoon last year, but I knew we weren't trading up. But no one in all of the draft had Witherspoon going to the Seahawks. But this year, I can see them taking a safety. Well, guys, it's about that time. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. It's always a better place. It starts right here. Much love to everybody in the chat. I hope you all have a blessed day. Go Lions. Are there still teams in cap hell? Pretty much. There always will be. Chargers are struggling with cap. The Saints are going to struggle with cap. Uh, have a great day, everyone. Yes, sir. Spade and neuter your Bear fans because they're awful.